Hello there, welcome to my channel. I am the Evil Scotsman. Here we've got a video called 10 Things Alpha Women, whatever they are, do that turn men off. Let's proceed.
Here are 10 things that women are doing that they don't even know they're doing that turn quality men off. Are you an alpha girl? Do you think you are an alpha woman? Do you have your shit together in life and you are successful? You pay your own bills, you're doing your own thing, you are doing you.
Oh, so that's what an alpha is. If you've got your shit together and pay your own bills. Wow, how very alpha. Doesn't that make everybody on earth more or less, apart from those who are not like that, an alpha?
But you want a guy who meets you at your level. Why not? Right? You work hard, you keep your life on point. So, of course, you want a guy who's at your level or higher. However, when
Ah,
you are dating,
at your level or higher. Don't drop down. Of course not. That's only what guys are supposed to do, guys. It's only us that are supposed to accept those who earn less than us as a partner. Okay.
dating and you are doing certain things, maybe one or many of the things that I am going to list out for you right now, you're going to turn these guys off. So, one of the things that I teach my clients is how to be both, how to be alpha at work, get stuff done, do amazing in your career, but then be in a feminine energy around men so that then you can create a beautiful relationship with a high quality, capable, masculine man. All right, so let's get
Capable and masculine. Tell me more what that means.
into the content. What are these 10 things that alpha ladies might do? And admit it, be honest. If I read these things off and you're like, yeah, I've done that, I've been told that, then let's connect because there are good reasons for why you are showing up as you're showing up on dates. There are good reasons for why you're showing up as you show up in your relationship.
Whatever the reasons are, remember, ladies, it's not your fault. Zero accountability 101.
Relationships. So once you get to the root of what's really causing all of this, you can shift it. I had to do the same. I teach what I've done for myself, and so that other women can learn how to be both, how to be capable and independent and able to do for themselves while also calling in that amazing master.
Okay, I'll just stop her there very quickly. It's not exactly rocket science how you be independent and capable. You study for qualification or in vocation in situ. You get your qualification or you get your experience, and then you get paid enough to survive and thrive with. Is there anything else to it? It seems to be all about finances these days when you listen to these women, doesn't it?
Masculine guy who's going to cherish them and adore them and treat them amazingly well and make their life a little bit easier too. So let's get into the 10 things. First, too much talking. Too much talking and dominating the conversation. It's cool to get into passionate conversations, debating issues, etc. A lot of men like women who are very intelligent and can have a point of view. However, when it is too much dominance of the conversation, it's off-putting to men. So learn how to sit back, ask curious questions, because remember, it's an opportunity for you to learn more about him, for what it is.
I've got an IQ of about 140 the last time I done an IQ test, and I've never had a female partner who has been on my level since my ex-wife, actually, who was a genius. Um, it's a pity she didn't use her genius for good. She tended to use it to be mischievous and sneaky, but she was on my level intellectually. But since then, before then, any point in my life up to and after that, I have not met a woman who is on my level intellectually. But that being said, I'm not being judgmental towards that. I don't think it's particularly normal to have such a high IQ, so I'm not looking for that in anybody. But it's when you've got an educated woman that you're seeing, and she just thinks she's right about everything. And the sort of liberal ideologies that she's learned at college and school trumps life experience, and they're not even intelligent enough to realise that a lot of the things they've learned are agenda-based stuff. That's annoying. So, ladies, I think if more of you would admit you were wrong, it would go a long way to solving the problems in the dating world. But as we've seen from many, 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 many thousands of clips, accountability is a naughty word. So to say, darling, I was wrong, seems to be beyond a lot of people these days, not just women, sadly.
What it is you're listening for, the things that you want to find out about him. I teach women how to do super strategic, high quality dating with clear intention so that you can attract that high quality guy. Second thing that you're doing, you might not even realize it, is that when you're talking about what you want in a relationship, your standards are totally unrealistic and unattainable. And now many women do this subconsciously.
So the same woman who opens her video saying you want to get a man who's on your level or higher in terms of income, intellect, social status, I guess she means, then she turns around and says this. It doesn't compute to me. It seems like she's speaking in opposites and riddles.
Consciously because they've been hurt before. And so they use unrealistic standards as a way to put a barrier between them and the man. So obviously, if a guy is like, he does okay, he's, 5'11, makes 200K a year.
Yeah, that's it. Now, here we are at the crux of the matter, boys and girls. A guy is just doing okay if he makes $200,000 per year. Where do I begin? A very, very small percentage of people, male or female, are making $200,000 per year. But he's just doing okay at that, apparently. That's just okay, kind of average. Okay is a different word for average, isn't it? Even though the average salary in the US is about, I don't know, 50k. In the UK, it's about £30, 30k pounds, which is about $45,000. But yeah, if you make 5 times the average or 4 times the average US, you're just doing
Good
okay.
looking guy, and you're like, no, he's not 6'2" and he's not a multimillionaire. This is an example of how women today have Delulu brain because of what they see on social media.
Again, she's just told us a minute ago that you're just okay if you're 5'11 with a 200k salary. But women who want a millionaire who's 6'2" are deluded. No, I would say that a woman who is expressly out there trying to catch a guy with 200k salary, it doesn't matter about his height, let's just keep it just on salary, because every time you add a new um, list of demand, every time you add a new criteria to an already existing criteria, you're pushing the likelihoods and percentages further down. So we'll just keep it on the salary level, shall we? Yeah, it's just okay if he makes 4 or 5 times the average. Just okay. And you can still reject him if he's under 6 foot at that, because you deserve someone better. You deserve somebody who is sought after by all the women. You deserve somebody who is handsome, is fit, has a big earns more than 200k because that's just okay, and is taller than 5'11 because that's just okay.
Media. And they think that, the world is crawling with millionaires and that they should be with a millionaire. And then they end up wasting their 10 years of their life because they're holding out for a certain kind of guy. Meanwhile, there's this amazing guy, does very well for himself too, but he is on a level that's actually attainable. So unrealistic expectations and standards, it's a major turnoff. The other thing is that they cannot be vulnerable. Number 3, cannot be vulnerable, cannot show vulnerability
Men or
in front
women?
of a man. You
Oh,
don't trust, you don't feel that you can trust people with your truest you. If something happens and it upset you and you're sad about it, you feel like you have to just turn that off. You can't ask this dude for support, for comfort, for what it is you need,
why not?
right? So I had a client, she struggled with this tremendously, and her past relationship ended because her
It sounds like an ego problem to me, not being able to share vulnerable stuff with a partner. Now, guys, let me know in the chat. It feels like if you're a man and you show any vulnerability, that's a major turn off. That's viewed upon as weak. They're going to they'll be looking to get rid of you, move on to the next one ASAP. The minute you show any vulnerability, it's like we're allowed to maybe cry if a parent dies, a brother dies, God forbid, a spouse or a child or whatever. We're allowed to cry about that apparently, and show vulnerability there. But don't you dare mope for days about it, guys. Have a wee moment. Yeah, that'll be acceptable. But don't you dare go into a spiral of depression about it, because that woman will be gone. Not all women, but we're talking in generalizations here. And generally speaking, a guy who shows vulnerability will probably not be able to keep that woman. Now, I don't think it quite works in reverse, to be honest. I genuinely don't. I'd be very surprised if a woman showing vulnerability is a major turn off to a guy, unless she is sort of caught in a world of self pity, prolonged.
her father passed away and she went kind of in private land. So she was with a guy for 2 years. Her father passes away. And instead of going to the guy and being like, yeah, totally come to the funeral with me, like, it'll be such a great support for me, I really need you there, she didn't want to be vulnerable in front of him. So, 2 year relationship, and all it was superficiality of going to dinners, having fun, going on vacations.
So in 2 years, we haven't met each other's parents yet. That's a red flag for me. Is that a 2 year situationship that these women call it? Is it? In other words, using people for what they can give you. And so, is she just about to say that it would be too vulnerable to invite your partner to the funeral of your parent? Is that what she's about to say? I hope not. Pardon
And
me.
when things got real, she rejected him. She put him at a distance. And he ended up saying, you can't be vulnerable with me, right? I wanted to be there for you and you wouldn't let me. And it turned him off. So, that ability to be vulnerable, to ask for what you need, to express what bothers you, to be attuned into your emotions and share that with a man is very important. And
Oh,
also being able to receive his solutions, right? So, if you come to a guy with a
okay.
problem, he's going
I
to
agree
come at you
then.
with a solution. But if you tell him in advance,
What a really strange way of putting your point across. I felt like she was speaking the opposite from how she ended that little spiel with. In fact, she's done that a couple of times in this video already. 5 minutes and 24 seconds in.
I don't want a solution, I just want to share something with you that happened to me. Just say that. I just want to share something with you that happened to me. I'm really upset about it. And I guess I want your opinion on this. Am I freaking out about this for no reason? And just see what he says. Get
It's almost like the emotions are all over the place, and that trumps any kind of logic. Even from a woman who's calmly making a video, she's still not showing a great deal of logicality to me. Maybe I'm dumb, but this is clearly a little bit confusing for me to hear her start off with, he's just okay if he makes 200k. And there aren't a load of millionaires out there, ladies. Don't be delusional. And the same with the vulnerability point that she made seemed to be, don't be vulnerable, ladies. And then at the end of the spiel, it's be vulnerable. It's strength, which I agree with. It's just the emotional mental gymnastics in the meantime that I don't really vibe with, because I vibe with logic, reason, common sense.
get into these deeper conversations, but it takes vulnerability to do that. Fourth thing that women, alpha women, are doing without even knowing it, that are turning off men, it's rejecting his help, rejecting his ability to make your life easier in any kind way. This I got it. No, it's okay. I got it. The thing to do if you are an alpha woman is step into your femme fatale energy. When you're out in the world, make
Femme
an agreement
fatale.
with yourself that if men are around, you don't do anything, they do it for you. If you go to a supermarket and you're buying
How strong and independent. If you're anywhere and men are around, you don't do anything. You just sit there and look pretty. You are the table. You are the prize. Let them do it all for you. That's an alpha female, apparently. Is that not just the biggest load of crap you've ever heard?
buying bottled waters, you don't put that in your trunk of your car. You don't lift the heavy bottles. Could you do it? Yes, but why should you? You have a pretty manicure. You spent a lot of money getting your nails done. Why are you, or doing them yourself like I do? Why? When the boy who's putting your groceries together says, hey, would you like me to help you do your car? Yes. Learn how to receive from men. Learn how to receive doting treatment from men, right?
Simp
It lights
treatment.
them up too, right? A woman knows how to make a man feel useful and purposeful. Something as simple as letting the 18-year-old kid at the supermarket put your bottled waters in the car. And you see him, his chest comes out, he's happy, he's like,
Yeah, that's because he's a kid. He's not a man yet. He hasn't had any experience and how really unrewarding it is to do everything for women. That's why he's so keen to take your stuff to your car. Maybe he's a Boy Scout or from a local sports group raising funds and stuff. That happens a lot in supermarkets, doesn't it? I think it's quite disingenuous to say that men love to help women and puff their chest out. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a great number of men out there who love to be the white knight because I think they're going to get something out of it, I would surmise. You won't catch a lot of guys helping women for no reason. I mean, I help every human being if they're in need, but I'm not going to help someone do something that they could perfectly well do themselves. That's just a take the piss.
you have a great day, ma'am. And you're like, you too, thanks for your help. Learn how to get into the habit of being treated well by men, letting men be of service to you, right? And when you're not and you shut that down, it turns them off. It makes them feel like, what's the point? Am I just here to pay for dinner? Right? I want to open her door. I want to move the chair out. I want to put her in her seat. I want to make sure she's comfortable. Right? But this
I want to pay for dinner, I want to carry her stuff, and I want to do things for her if she's a wholesome woman. I don't want to do that for her if she's got 20 guys in her DMs and I'm just one option for her. That's the crucial point, guys. I would do that for a faithful, feminine, maternal woman. I wouldn't do it for for the opposite of that.
but this attitude of, I got it. I don't need you to tell me what seat to sit in. You're being controlling. That energy isn't graceful. Right? Step into grace. And those are the women who are getting all the good men too. Women who know how to do that. Number 5, stubbornness, strong-willed, not agreeable. Those 3 things, high quality men are looking for that. Is she stubborn? Can she be led? Right? Men who are able to lead want to know that a woman can yield to his leadership.
Sure.
Now, can you give an opinion? Of course. Right? But it's not combative. It's not a non-agreeableness. It's a more of a hey, I have a question for you. And then you ask the question. Not a, why are you doing this like this? And then trying to tell him to do it the way you want to do it. That's the kind of thing that will turn men off like that.
Again, it comes down to if your argument is based on logic, reason, common sense, I will listen to that. If your argument is, oh, I don't like the look of him because he's a Gemini, or he's only making $250,000, then why should I give that any credence? That's just delusion. That's just complete and utter nonsense. Um, But there is some sense in this, I must say.
And alpha women do that all the time. Number 6. This one's going to get me some shade.
Do you mean masculine women do this all the time? This argumentative, combative, you need to handle me, boy. You're not a zoo animal. You don't need tamed like a zoo animal. Humans, by proxy, are civilized creatures in a rule and structure based society. Why would I need to handle anybody? That's what I want to know. I'm not a zoo worker. I'm a man.
I'll see it in the comments. It's all good. I can take it. You're a hardcore feminist and you reject traditional roles and traditional men and anything traditional.
How very alpha.
You're not into the gender norms of old. You're Miss, I'm a feminist. I got it. I make more than you. I can do it myself. So, you know what these high quality men are going to say? Okay, then you can do it yourself.
Again, she's contradicting herself because at the very start she says you want to be dating at your level or higher, but then she just comes and says this. So, is anybody actually out there in the dating market looking for love? I don't think so anymore. They're looking for the bag.
Self. They're not going to be interested in any of that. Any of that anger, that rage, the unresolved daddy issues, whatever it is that has you being like this radical feminist, handle it. Handle it. Right? Step into your softness. You're a woman. You're not a man. Why are you trying to compete with men? You're not a man. You're a woman. So
Exactly. You're a woman. You're not an alpha anything. You're a woman. Yeah, there's some women who are better leaders and etc. Blah. And I don't even believe in the traditional categorization of men as alpha, beta, sigma, blah de blah. These are all just inventions, word inventions by people who probably have nothing better to do than try and work out the world from their basic animalistic perspective. But I digress.
you're your own thing. Let men dote on you. Let men, my gosh, men, they see women who are truly full in their true feminine like superpower. They want to get around that energy. Feminist, it's repelling. It's an angry energy. Number 7, you're giving way too.
Now, classical feminism I can get behind, but the neo-feminism, neoliberal feminism, as you might call it, I think it's a toxic, misandry-based philosophy. Let me know if you agree.
Way too much criticism, way too much judgment. You're mothering him and it's emasculating him. So whenever you're in that masculine energy where you're trying to fix him, you're trying to offer.
Now, I tend to disagree there yet again because, see, your radical feminists, they have no motherly instincts. They're looking, if they even like men in the physical sense, they're just looking for a toy, a Ken doll. I don't think they have any sort of interest in nurturing you. It's more about what they can get out of you and what you can do for them. And if you serve no purpose, i.e., to give them a good time in the bedroom or fix things in the house, bring home the bacon money wise, you're you're less worth to them than a 1-inch dildo.
Offer solutions to him. You're trying to treat him as like a little project, like, oh, I can make him better. It's emasculating and it turns them off. And it's only going to
And controlling.
attract more weak beta male losers. So if you want to attract high
What did you
quality
say?
men, you have to learn how to sit back and watch what they do. Watch how they treat you. Watch how they make the plans. None of this, oh, I can make the reservation. You don't do any of that. None of it. He asks you, where would you like to go? And you rattle off 5 places that you really like.
That's not very alpha, is it?
And this way you communicate the
Wow.
standard. You rattle off, oh, I like this place, this place. This place is good too. This way, right there, he knows, damn, this girl is out of standard. Either I meet it or I exceed it. And then he takes it from there. Cool, I'm gonna go make reservations. All right, great. Let me know what time. Texts you. I have reservations for 7:30.
Okay, I've made a reservation for McDonald's at 8:30. Are you coming?
Perfect. I'll meet you there, however way you arrange it, right? This is what it is. Let him do for you. Number 8.
No, wait, sorry. You are coming. That's alpha, isn't it? That's what they want, isn't it? Leave it all to me. Be there or be square. And obviously not McDonald's, but I was just being cheeky.
Self-absorption, a me-first attitude, and a very narcissistic attitude. Now, women can be narcissists too.
What?
Sorry.
Women can be narcissists too. Oh, I didn't know that. I've only dealt personally with about 10 of the buggers, so I know that they can be narcissists too. This is incredible. This is incredible.
Sorry, but they can. And it's this attitude of angry, combative, me first, I'm not here for you, I'm here for me. Any of that snippiness, that's not appealing. High quality man is not going to tolerate that shit at all. Number 9, rigid, inflexible, and uncompromising. You can't roll with it. You don't know how to just roll with stuff. Things are going to, like, you get to the restaurant and they lost the reservation. And now you start getting all huffy and pissy, right? Or you start saying, let me just get my phone. I know somebody at blah, blah, blah restaurant. They'll get us a table, no problem. Like you're
Just want to interject quickly and say that anybody who treats serving staff, reception staff, kitchen staff badly, they're a major red flag and a massive turn off to me. Because you don't know the reasons why they don't have your reservation. It's best to find that out before you start causing an emotional scene, ladies.
You're trying to swoop in and be the guy, and no, none of that. Oh, you roll up to the table. Oh, a reservation under what? I'm sorry, we don't have that reservation. You hang back and you let him, and you watch him problem solve. You watch what he does. If he turns to you and he says, hey, so they lost our reservation. I made a reservation this afternoon and for
More
some reason
tests.
they don't have it. Then you can say, because he's coming to you, then you could say, well, is there room at the bar? We can just sit at the bar and eat if you want to do that. And he'll be like, yes, that's great, perfect, wonderful. In fact, I recommend that.
Any of you guys see all the needless thoughts that are going through the female mind in such a scenario yet? It's not rocket science going out to eat. And if some place has not got your reservation and they've got a full dining room at the time, it's quite rare that there's nowhere else to go, isn't there? Isn't it? It's quite rare that you're in a sort of locality where there's only one good restaurant. There tends to be areas where there's a few good restaurants in most cities. There tends to be the posh dining areas. So it's not exactly the end of the world if someone's lost your reservation. You could just call up a couple of restaurants right there and then get a drink at the bar and say, right, guys, you've lost my reservation. Do you mind if me and my lady have a drink while we work out where we're going to go and eat? And most people is going to be happy to take your money as long as you're not causing a big scene. But that goes back to making sure you don't treat everybody badly because they lost your reservation and cause a big emotional scene.
I recommend it. It's much more feminine and playful and flirty to sit knee to knee sitting at the bar. Better than a table blocking the energy between you. You could accelerate a date and the bond that you create on a date, the rapport that you create on a date, if you sit at the bar. And I'm not saying go to some, awful spot. No, of course not. But you could go to a high-end steakhouse and you can sit at the bar area and you can have an amazing meal and you could be in your little bubble and have a great time. Learn how to be flexible. Learn how to roll with it. Number 10, the final thing that women do that they don't even know they're doing, that's turning off the very capable masculine sigma male that they want, right? That sigma, that guy who's very
So alpha female wants a sigma male. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. I would say probably alpha females would like well, if there's such a thing as alpha females, but I'll just pretend there is for the sake of this wee spiel. I think they want a beta male who wants to do everything for them, blah blah blah. Or they're looking for a really strong masculine alpha, a sigma male. If you're going to categorize me into anything, I'm probably more a sigma than an alpha. Um, can we be bothered with that level of drama? And we're very, very conscious of the fact that they're not pulling their weight in certain scenarios and leaving it all to us, which is confusing in this regard because,
stoic. He knows how to measure his anger. He knows how to deal with
you
his
know,
emotions. He's emotionally intelligent. He is charismatic. He's very deliberate and measured in how he speaks and how he conducts himself. He's a true gentleman. These are the types of guys that you want. And these are the things that they're looking for. And if they see them in women, they get turned off. They get turned off.
gentlemen are looking for ladies. A lot of women now, if you call them a lady, they say, "Who the hell are you calling a lady?" So that's a major turn off when women, they want to have the door open for them, but only by the guy that they fancy. They want to have all this done for them, but only by the high earning guy. It's quite hypocritical of females to say things like this. And this whole video so far has been mental gymnastics of the highest order.
The 10th one is this: way too much emphasis on all work, no play attitude. You don't know how to do self care. You don't know how to have boundaries with work. You're working overtime, extra hours, all of this and that all the time. You really are not available to date. You're not available to be catered to, right? Because that's what dating is. If you're dating in the right way, if you're dating truly in your feminine, you are dating to be treated incredibly well. So what you're doing is you're rejecting a man. Every time you say to that guy, "Oh, I have to work late." Oh,
Hold on a minute, you're looking for a guy who's earning more, who's greater than you, and then you're saying this. Okay, that's interesting.
I can't. Oh, I have this thing. Oh, I have that. You're not available. You're not available. So make sure that you're truly fully available to date, to fall in love, to build a relationship. Otherwise, don't waste this guy's time.
Right, okay, so we live in a really bad economic time where people need to do overtime. They need to work harder. They need to spend more time at the office. They maybe need to have a side hustle. Um, Dating naturally will come secondary to survival, I'm afraid. She's almost coaching girls here, women, to, you know, put more emphasis on dating and less emphasis on being independent. And that's apparently what alpha females do. Give me a break. Make this make sense, man.
So there you go. I'm Lisa the Love Coach. If you struggle with any of these, if you're one of those women that you're watching this and you're like, "Oh my God, I've had men say this to me," or "I definitely come across very like firm, black and white, this is how this is going to go." And because of
Bossy.
this, you're attracting beta
Turn
males. You're
off.
attracting guys that they want
Want to be
mommies.
bossed
They
about.
don't want a
Aye.
partner. They don't want someone to build an extraordinary life with. They're looking for someone to help them elevate. And that's great.
Now I can agree with that.
Elevate from already what you've done on your own to here. That's what we want, right, ladies? Right? You don't want a dude who's here at, rock bottom 0 and you're trying to elevate him to level 100. Like, who wants that? Nobody.
What are you going to do to elevate him? Surely that's his responsibility. What do you think you can do to elevate a man's status? Honestly. Unless you can teach him something that's going to help him make more money. what they think you're going to do to elevate a man's status. This is completely insane. It's like saying, you know, don't tolerate a guy who's not made it yet. And we all know that that's the case. I watch a guy called Levi Nix, and he always says, and big up, mate, if you ever catch my videos, he'll say, women wait at the finish line for the winners. And it's so true. It's so true. They congregate at the finishing line. They don't necessarily want to run your race with you. And this is coming through very strongly here in what this lady's saying.
Nobody, right? But I'm telling you, for the men who already elevated themselves and they have the discipline, they've created businesses, they're doing very well for themselves, whatever their thing
is, they've got a lot of choice of women. So you better be bloody good. You better be, feminine, attractive, capable. If you say you're independent, then you better be independent. And if you're not independent, you better be submissive and be able to be led. And all these things, when you add it all together, there are actually very few women out there who would actually fit that category for a very successful man. Hence, you find these days a lot of successful men, rightly or wrongly, because all these gold digging women are throwing themselves at him. He can't take any of them seriously. They're all right for bedroom fun, but that's about it. They're not wife material. And that's about it, really. This is where we're at. It's crazy.
thing is they are secure, they're living impeccably, all of the things. If you want that kind of man is looking.
If you want me to be impeccable, then you better be impeccable. And that includes being loyal, being monogamous, and being respectful.
For a certain type of woman. And these 10 things are the things. Feel free to rewatch the video, grab a notebook, or click the link below. I wrote an entire blog article with all 10 of the things. So you could click that link. You could also click the link below to get your free love life assessment.
Our recording space is quite echoey, isn't it? Anyway, would you want to pay for advice from this lady who seems to be a little bit confused in what she's saying and speak in contradiction a lot?
At lovequestcoaching.com. So definitely click the link in the description, hit the subscribe, hit the bell notification. When I drop videos, which is on a weekly basis, you will be invited to the party. All right, talk soon.
Thank you for that. That was awesome. Unbelievable. Now, she made a few very valid points throughout that video, but the basis in which they were made were very confusing, very contradictory, and it just reeks of ingenuity to me. It does. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope the sound quality is better. I've not even checked it yet, but fingers crossed, because I've just invested about £500 in my setup here, and if it's not right now, I'm going to be devastated. Thanks for watching if you made it this far. Thanks for your support on this channel. It means a lot to me. I want to hear your comments on this, and please like and subscribe if you feel the content. Until next time, troops, peace.